Hey guys, and Astro FX is back in Miami. So this is our second time here. I'm gonna start off by apologizing for the last vlog. Our flight was around 9 in the morning, and which means we have to leave our apartment around 6. And I was like, is there any point sleeping? Might as well just stay out. So we went to my friend's club tape in London, and yeah, by the time I got back, it was about 5, 6 in the morning. And then when these fellas come and got me, I was slurring my words and stuff like that. So I wasn't really the best in front of camera. So got to Miami, and I promised Sean and everybody I'm going to be sensible this time around. So this is our second or third day in Miami right now. And yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of chart analysis and show you one of the trades I'm actually in. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about Miami. So we were 50-50 actually whether to come or not. Obviously we have the huge hurricane, and but however we found out a few days before that it might just pass by Miami. So if you look outside right now, it looks a bit cloudy. However, yeah, I think maybe in a few hours we'll see what happens. We will try and vlog it and keep me and Sean alive. So GBP AUD is one of the trades I've been looking in. And before I even begin, I think in the previous videos I mentioned that for me personally, because of the time zones and the traveling, whenever I do go away, I try and be a bit careful and a bit more reserved with my trading. So this is a trade that I've actually been in for a while. So this is GBP AUD. So GBP AUD, as I saw, this was bouncing off the 1.81500. And then I managed to get a nice little entry. I'm up around 155 pips to the downside, and I'll just go ahead and show you one of my trades. So this is one of my trades I have on right now. So I woke up and it was actually in fairly decent profit. My Wi-Fi is being a bit funny, but yeah, I might go ahead and try and actually close this trade. And I'm pretty happy with my profits. And there you go. So whenever I'm on holiday, again, I do try and just because I wake up so late, obviously the time difference between London and Miami, London is actually 5 hours ahead. So when I woke up this morning at 9, of course the US market was already opening, and that's completely different to what we're used to over in London. So right now, I will be trying to find more trade opportunities today and tomorrow, because of course we have the trading workshop. I mean, Sean did say we want to try and do as much live trading as possible, and show everybody, you know, hopefully our accounts and some of the stuff that we're actually in. And also, you might have saw an Instagram post that me and Sean actually want to try and find individuals in Miami, in Dallas, and in Toronto that if we feel like because a lot of these students are actually already Astro FX online students. So hoping that if we see that they're up to the task, me and Sean will make a withdrawal from our accounts and actually give these guys maybe potentially a £5,000 account just to try and see it, do something different as well. I'd never really see many people actually investing into their students, and that's the direction that me and Sean want to go as well. So yeah, that's my trade for now. GBP AUD I feel like will maybe fall potentially 40-50 pips earlier. But again, because of Wi-Fi, just because of traveling, I don't want to constantly be looking at my phone. So right now, I'm gonna finish up here. I think me and Sean are gonna go head over and go eat somewhere. And I hope you guys enjoy this vlog too. I know everybody enjoyed the last vlog. And yeah, let's go meet Sean and get something to eat. Guys, I just want everyone to know the time right now is midday. Look who over here is having a fucking whiskey. And people say I'm the whiskey guy. Right there. It's alcoholic.
Guilty as charged.
And then we'll also have a 3 Macallans, please, 12 year.
You like it neat?
On the rocks with Coke on the side.
Okay, and the Julio's neat, no?
Yeah, neat.
Oh shit.
He did the cheers, but they forgot to drink it. Put the cup down afterwards. A bit of an update. What's happened is, so we with the hurricane had a lot of issues finding a venue for the Astro FX event. The W cancelled on us. We literally have been looking at 14, 15 different places. Nothing's going well. Everyone's either blaming the hurricane, or they haven't got enough staff, or it's Labor Day, so nothing can get actually booked right now. So we're on the way to look at this other venue, which one of our students actually managed to arrange for us. And we're on the way there. And as you can see, Sean's really interested in helping us find this venue. So yeah, we'll update you guys in a bit. And yeah, we'll see if Sean ever wakes up one day. So we have a gift from Bermuda, right?
Bermuda. What's it called?
Black rum.
140 proof?
140.
140 proof?
I can handle a lot.
He's gonna poison us. He's been sent from somewhere.
Sean, you can go first.
My oh my. How's it going, guys? So we just wrapped up day one of the Miami workshop. So today's focus, more or less at the end of the day, was to answer people's queries and questions when it comes down to psychology. Now, psychology is something that cannot be taught. I get many questions, especially on social media. What books do you recommend for trading psychology? I do give out book recommendations here and there. I like to just do things and spare of the moment. I was explaining to everybody earlier on that if we overload ourselves with too many people's judgments and too many people's experiences which are written in these books, it's kind of like information overload. If you relate it to, let's say you have too many indicators on a chart and then you go through the phase of analysis paralysis, you kind of get paralyzed by so many different opposing factors that you're reading in all of these different books that your head just starts fucking spinning around. What the hell's going on? This guy says this, and too many judgments can collide. So I was explaining to people earlier on that sometimes it's actually detrimental to go too hard in reading about psychology or even just trading stuff in general. None of us are perfect, and we're all here for a learning experience, especially in the market. So I was explaining to everybody explaining to one of the guys questions. It was like, I followed you for 4 years and you're always constantly changing. And I was like, well, is that because I'm kind of nuts, or do you mean changing my style of trading? And I was explaining to him how my personal journey when it comes to psychology, I always want to strengthen myself and improve myself in and out of the markets. And there isn't any book that I've really gone deep into and took advices of people. It's something that comes with experience, whether it's market related, not market related. Psychology is built through hard tasks, struggle, sometimes torture, and being resilient to certain situations and having the drive to always come out on top and to be a better version. And it is hard to go through these phases. Some of these guys had some ups and downs which we were sharing. I was sharing some of my personal ups and downs in the last few years, which have got me to this solid point. I do have a long way to go myself, but I'm at a level where I'm extremely confident in what I do. And confidence comes from the hard times and being resilient, but having the motivation and the drive to come out of those dips and continue onward. Coupled with that, I was also explaining to people today how my charts are very, very clean cut. It doesn't mean that it's simple, but it doesn't mean that it's basic. Simplicity and basic, two different scenarios, two different kettle of fish. I was explaining that over time, we program ourselves in a certain way. We program ourselves in a specific way from our experiences, both good and bad. Mainly bad, because the bad experiences that we go through leave traumatic imprints in our subconscious, and it can be quite traumatic. And I was explaining this when people come into the market and make losses, always constantly chasing that loss. And I was also explaining to people how we're not actually trading for the success of being a trader or market success. We're trading for the chemicals in our brain to get stimulated. And if we look at all of these different obstacles, if you will, or these different verticals of psychology and why the human organism does these specific things, especially in the markets, because again, it's kind of gambling if you don't know what you're doing. If we can look and we can narrow down why certain patterns are emerging, we can narrowly come through and jump out of the fucking bucket. So the bucket it's a black hole. Forex is a black hole if you don't know what you're doing. And the black hole, it's not exactly foreign exchange market, that's the black hole. The black hole is human psychology. And again, I was explaining to people today how the broker industry is caking it because they just play on human psychology. It's like any other business. Countries are corporations, governments corporation. They play on human psychology. So if you know the psychological standard of how the human operates, you can capitalize from that. And I was saying to them, brokers, from some of the connections I have in the city, it's not 75, 80, 85% people are losing. No, it's like 98, 99. And that's more or less because human psychology is very, very hard to sustain sheer strength and confidence in the long term. And everything I was going through today and my personal journey is to try to really, really solidify that confidence equity curve and that long-term commitment to balancing psychology. And there's certain tricks. I'm not going to explain everything here on camera because I gave it to the guys today, but overall, if you look at the market journey and your personal journey as a test of will, a test of strength and test of character, but at the same time, you can't be ignorant to the fact of knowing yourself. So a human, okay, everybody that was in the room today, I was explaining, we have two sides to ourselves, polarity. We have our negative attributes, positive attributes. You have to know and you have to go through the journey to see where your positive and negative lie. Once you understand and have that self-knowledge of positive and negative, you can actually formulate plans around that. But you only get there by actually being honest with yourself. Not a lot of people like to be honest with themselves. It's quite evident in this arena. I mean, I'm personally self-taught, and I work from the bottom upwards. At one point, I thought I knew everything. I thought I made it. I knew everything. Blah 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 blah. It's only when you actually tone yourself down, you say, okay, cool. I've got a lot more to learn. There's so many different arenas that you can step into. Only if you remove that side of yourself where you think you've made it, and you say, okay, cool, there's much more to learn. Let me see where I can improve, where my strengths and weaknesses lie, and how can I actually elevate. So my journey now, I have earned the right. I've earned the right to evolve into the next arena, and it's taken 8 years. 8 years, and I've told everybody today, self-taught, always trying to improve myself, always trying to test myself. Even last August was a test on Twitter, giving the trades out and so forth. That was a test for me, a successful test. I made a success of it, but I'm always striving for more and more and more and more and more. So successful day so far, psychology based, many tricks, tips and pointers have been shared, and we're going to wrap it up tomorrow. When it comes down to trading this week, what I was also stating is that after a good run, have a break. I had trades running from last Friday. I had gold running, and I also had GBP AUD running. GBP AUD last night collapsed. Let me check it out. Yeah, so we hit 700-800 to the pip late last night, and that was broadcasted on Twitter. I think like 250 pips are made from that, but gold today spun through the roof. Moral of the story here is that when you have a good run, learn to step back. Through certain times, again, this is generic, through certain times, and we have our cycles. If you have a good run, step back, and especially if you're away and out of your comfort zone. When I talk about comfort zone, time zone, here I'm 5 hours behind. So I have a body clock routine where I'm waking up in the morning at 5:30 a.m., sometimes checking the market at 3 a.m., and I'm out of that routine. If I was at home, I would have recognized gold breaking that resistance at 15.29, 15.30. I did post that on Twitter last night. 15.30 is a barrier. Looking at this chart, if you can see, perfect break and a retest of that zone, but momentum was to the upside. So if I was awake at that point, I could have cut that loss, or better still, if I was at home, I could have just got out of the trade altogether. But it is what it is. Gold right now, 15.45, could come back down to that level and beyond, but I'm actually taking some time out of the market until I'm back home in London. I appreciate what happened in the month of August. Sometimes if we try to push ourselves too much, we forget to actually enjoy life and have fun. So that's the status right now for myself. GJ going a little bit nutty as well, and so on. So mainly, guys, psychology. To wrap the video up, I'm waffling on a little bit right now. Experience. I was given pointers for people to steer clear from. You will fall into certain traps, but if you can recognize the trap and recognize the pattern that you're in and know yourself, you can pull yourself out of it, and over time you will make the same mistake over and over again. Journal, write it down, and eventually you can only suffer so much until you actually fucking change it. And then that combined with clean charting analysis, having time and space to actually look at what trade you want to be in, look at the setup, honor the setup, risk reward, all of that, everything that you've seen on Twitter. That's the easy stuff. The psychology is what is killing the industry overall. So I'm gonna go back to the hotel now, chill out. Day 2 tomorrow, probably catch back up on another video and show you some progress, show you some analysis, whatever it may be. For now, I'm gonna sip on this rum from a student who's come over from the Bahamas and catch up on some sleep. It's been a pretty wild few days. So guys, cool, I'm out, peace.